It is now time for Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast.
Hello, everybody. JD here, which means you are listening to Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast. As always, the greatest DJ that scratched records on the earth is here with me, over at his desk, reading Howard the Duck amongst all his memorabilia. And I am speaking about the one, the only, DJ Barris.
You're damn right. I'm reading my Howard the Duck comic #1. I'm listening to my Howard the Duck soundtrack. I mean, like, this is just, I got Hot Pockets being made. This is like the greatest day of my life, bro.
So pretty much you told me you went down the hills, got yourself an orange slice, left with a Slurpee and a hot dog and a soft pretzel, then went over to Murphy Mart, then hit Woolworths, then Horns, and then Lazarus, and then jumped into Kaufman's to get a Danish.
I went to Hills. I got some popcorn.
Popcorn. Okay. Yeah.
Then I went to National Record Mart.
Ooh.
Then I went to hit on some hot mums at Montgomery Wards.
Monkey Wards.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. OG.
The younger audience is going to have no idea what we're talking about.
Not at all.
So anyway, that's good. You're looking good there, Barris. You're looking good.
I am. Yeah, my eye looks like someone sucker punched me, but hey, that's what happens.
But you look healthy. You sound healthy. You sound like you're in good spirits. That's pretty cool.
Slept until about 5 p.m. I'm doing pretty good right now.
Oh, geez, that's early for you.
I know, right?
What the heck, man? Before I introduce our counterpart here, as I want to tell you I'll introduce him first, then I'll tell you guys something. So, ladies and gentlemen, audience, for those of you that are regular listeners, you know exactly who I'm talking about. For the new listeners, our new audience, I'll let him explain who he is after he says hello, but he is our liege. He is our royalty. I am speaking none other than our king, King Logan.
Yes, and welcome once again, my magnanimous and amazing fans, to Ring the Bell Radio, a King Logan production. Yes, I'm here.
Sorry.
I'm here to answer your wrestling questions. Anything that's come on your mind. I am the king of wishful thinking. So let's do this. Let's do another episode. Yeah.
King, you're looking pretty good, just like how I said the Barris.
Of course I'm looking pretty good. My God, have you seen me? I look phenomenal. All the time. Thank you.
All I did
now,
was ask questions. You don't have to get mean with me.
I have important information to relay. I'm going to bring this up on our screen so you guys can see it.
Uh-oh.
That's right. You can now get King Logan merch, okay, from somewhere. I don't know where.
From somewhere.
You can get it from somewhere. Here we go, guys. This is it. There we go. That's the new shirt. Okay.
Heavy is the oh wow.
Yes. Yeah. Look, it's just amazing. And look at this model as well. He's hot and he's wearing my shirt. Ergo, my shirt is hot.
And you know what? He's wearing arrogance. Arrogance for men.
Let's see. I don't wear arrogance. I wear truth.
Hey, you can't knock the arrogance. Look how much it helped out the model. This model right here is wearing arrogance. Okay, guys. We have a special guest on the line with us tonight. Did you know that? Did I tell you that already?
It's not Frank, is it?
No, it's not Frank.
Oh, thank God.
Our current listeners know who Frank is, so we're not going to get into that. So she was in promotions such as Victory Pro Wrestling, the WWC Florida, Royal Crown Wrestling, Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling, just to name a few. But it is Nahir Robles is joining us on the show right now.
So let's go.
So here we go. Here we go. First of all, with our audience, which we have a pretty interesting audience, the King will tell you that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Nahir Robles?
That's a very broad question, but I think it works. I feel like Nahir Robles is every little part that has been what made me who I am to this day. Like, you know how all of us have like these little like times, like you did this at a certain time, you did this at a certain time. And now it's 2024 and I get to mix all of these little things that I used to do here and there and back in the day. And they're just, who I am right now. So for example, I'm a cliche in the sense that I was a pageant girl for the longest time. I was an interviewer for wrestling. And then I transitioned from interviewer to wrestler. So it's a little bit of all of that. It's also the cheekiness, the sassiness of being Latina and Puerto Rican, the pridefulness, the whole more ass in wrestling movement. It has to be said. I'm sorry.
I just saw a picture with that you put on your social media, more ass and wrestling. Yes. And I'm just going, I read that as more ass and wrestling. Wrestling. So I'm like, okay, so that's
funny
interesting.
I read that as more ass wrestling, and that's a whole different sport. That's a whole different thing, right there.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I mean, wrestling itself would be. Yo, that's a moneymaker right there. Where haven't we done it?
Boom! See, I like this girl. She's about it. There you go.
Put that on a T-shirt. Make some money.
I tell you what. It's a strange transition from pageant girl to wrestler. I mean, that's.
It's not as uncommon as you think, though. If you think of the wrestlers back in the Attitude Era in the 2000s, they were pretty much model turned wrestlers.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like it's kind of like bringing back a little bit of like the nostalgia. That's why I say I'm a walking cliche, but also adding my own elements to it, the whole interviewing thing. I feel like if there's like a wrestling like a persona that I feel like I could relate to is you guys remember when Maria started?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maria started as the bubbly interviewer and then was thrown into the wolves in the ring. Same thing happened to me in a sense. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun getting to have that like as my backstory. Like never in a million years I thought that was gonna be the transition, mind you.
So is wrestling something that you always wanted to get into? It sounds like it is. It sounds like you always had a passion for it. We've watched some of your matches and we could tell, I mean, of course, I've never wrestled a match in my life. Out of the three of us, the person who's got into the ring was actually Barris here. He was training to be a referee. No, manager. Referee.
Yeah.
Manager. Okay. But for 30 years of me watching wrestling, Logan and I were watching a couple of your matches the other day, and we can go, you could just see the passion there.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see that you like being in there. And what was the match that we were referencing, Logan? It was you.
It was Ali Catch.
Ali Catch.
Yeah, there was this. The crazy thing is I'm one of these people that I love crazy spots or like a bizarre move, something that's just new. And you did this abdominal stretch on her and then jumped over and rolled it into like a pin. And I was like, that's so cool. That was awesome. So yeah, we were divvying out through your videos, finding cool moves you were doing.
Aw, I don't know how I came up with that. I like again very simple elements from like old school wrestling. Abdominal stretches are very much known at the end of time, and I'm like, I want to do something different with it. I do it like that, and I can also do that transition from a head scissors. I don't do it very confidently because thick thighs are almost all the girlies are wrestler are like very tiny unless I get a giant. So I don't get to do that very often. But when I do, it's fun.
She says it's fun. But no, we were watching something. I think it was the end of that match. I mean, alas, you lost the specific match we were watching, by the way, on her YouTube channel, audience. There's a plug for you. You happen to lose that match via pile driver. And the first thing I said to the guys was, there's something that you don't see in the WWF or TNA anymore, is an actual wrestling move. And the thing that I liked about watching you is the guys will tell you this right off, is it was actual wrestling match. We saw a various amount of wrestling moves in your matches, which I'm just like, I mean, Logan will tell you right now, I'm hooked on this gal. Okay. And I'll even say this about watching the TNA and the WWE is, what did I tell you, Logan, about 2 years ago? Watch the women's wrestling matches. You're actually going to see some quality wrestling in it. And that's what we saw out of yours. There were some moves there that I've never seen before, especially in that alley catch match, which we're just like, we were sitting there and you guys would do a move and I forget who did it. Was it a crossbody, Logan, or they just did like a big splash or something? But we both kind of cringed and looked away.
Oh, it was the flattened, like the reverse bulldog between your legs.
That was it right there.
And we're like, oh, she didn't flatten out. Oh, she just literally headbutted the mat. Like, ow.
Like the knees didn't even touch before her head touched. And I was just like, oh my God.
Like flexible, but you just headbutted the mat, darling. Like, yeah, why did she flatten out? Like, yeah, we were trying to find a reason why. We were like, was she too close to the ropes? No. Like, you did your part of the move perfect. I'm like, why did she headbutt the mat? Crazy stuff.
That match in particular, it's very important to me because that was actually my first wrestling open match.
Really?
Back in March. Okay. I actually remember that match happened on March 28th. I went from Puerto Rico to Massachusetts or in Worcester. It's one of the few cities I can actually pronounce, so I'm very proud of it.
Worcester. No, you got to get it right.
There's
Worcester.
no way I can't. Like, there's a lot of towns I can't pronounce. So,
okay,
I can half-ass it. It works.
So Worcester. So I just want to, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to give you a small, that my wife's family's from Boston, Worcester, Framingham, Peabody, Revere. Yeah, up there in Boston.
In Peabody, back in June, and Revere in when was it? Same.
About the same time. Okay.
Yeah, during the summer. In June, Peabody was in June, and then it was in July. Yeah, in July, I was in River.
So it was funny because the first time I was actually up in Boston a number of years ago with my wife, and we're driving into the highway, and I'll let you get back to your story here in a minute, but we were driving on the highway into Boston, and she's like, how do you pronounce this name or this town? And I'm pronouncing everything phonetically, and I was like, Haverhill, and she goes, no, it's Haverhill.
I'm gonna blame it on the Boston accent. Their accents change everything, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, right. So we come up to the next town. She's like, how do you say this one? She goes, I go Peabody, and she's like, no, it's Peabody.
No, Peabody, and then we're like,
Peabody.
What? Peabody, yeah. What?
Peabody. What? I was like, what is Peabody? It's pronounced Peabody. And so we come up to the next one, which is Worcester, and I go, Worcester?
I did the same thing.
That's what I said, yeah. And then she's like, no, it's Worcester.
Worcester.
And so I was like, okay.
Bostony. And I'm like,
very Bostonian. No. And so we come up before we get to where we have to get to, and I just went, oh, I got it. I know how to say this one, and it was Revere, right? And so I go, Reva. And she looks at me and goes, no, it's Revere. And I went, okay, I give up. And I was just like, everything that I was pronouncing phonetically is wrong. And I actually try to put a Bostonian accent to it. And she tells me I'm wrong. But no, that's cool that you were up there.
Slang, like I come to terms that I love wrestling in Worcester. See, I'm still struggling with it.
Worcester.
But I'll never be able to pronounce most of the towns that I'm at. Like, I was in Pennsylvania yesterday with a
Okay.
town that starts in an O. Orwenburg? I don't remember. And
So
I'm like,
what part of Pennsylvania was it in? Western Pennsylvania, Eastern?
I have no idea.
You have
It was
no
a
idea.
2.5 hour drive from New York.
So it was Eastern PA then.
Okay, that's on the other side of the state from when we're at right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no. And then I had a segment that Saturday, and I usually like pronouncing towns just to make fun of it. And I was so terrified. And I'm like, yo, I can do it in a promo. I don't think I can do it in real life. Disrespect the town's name. And I was just like, you know what? I'd rather not mention the name because I'm gonna screw it up. And I didn't.
You know, the best thing, honestly, like we're all from Pittsburgh here, so Western Pennsylvania. But if you want to like get the crowd going, especially on Western PA, all you have to say is the word "yins." That's it. Just be like, "Yins turned up tonight, yay!" and they will go berserk for it.
They love that word.
and here's the other thing, that if you're working as a heel, Yins turned up tonight, right? Well, Yins can't even. That is the dumbest word I've ever heard. Yins. That's all you got to do
They will.
over
You
here
will
in
get.
Western
They
PA.
will throw beer cans at you.
Either you can
And
get the
probably
heat,
small
or you'll
children
get
as well. Like they go nuts for it here. It's great.
Or just tell them that they're so stupid that they call soda pop. That'll
Yep.
get them every
I
time.
wish I would have had this yesterday. I remember.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
I was just suffering because I made as a joke, yo, if I get scared, I'll just talk in Spanish.
I have a question. Seeing as I watched a good few of your matches, my question to you was, what is the worst bump you've ever taken?
It wasn't even on a match. Actually, no, I have one on a match and I have one during a practice.
I'll take them both.
Yeah, because it was such an easy move and my shoulder popped.
Oh,
It was this was actually during my wrestling graduation match back in August 2023. I was wrestling this girl, and when she does the DDT, she kind of left my arm like it was this side, like this, and she just held it. She forgot to and I was like, let go. So when I fell, I heard that, and I'm like, oh no. And it was, I don't know if it's worse, if it's like a bone or muscular like ligament as well, because it's awful. Like you go to like the emergency room and it's like, there's nothing there. You're gonna have to do like an MRI, and I'm like, get wrecked. So that one was like, and it's something so easy. Like I think a DDT is something almost everybody like. It's easy to do. It's easy to transition. It's easy to go to. So the fact that it was a DDT that made my shoulder pop is insane. But during like the worst, I feel like bump was I jumped from the second row. I don't do this very often. This is why, and when I fell, I was like, this is the reason why I don't do it. I jumped. The person didn't catch me on time. I got them. I got here to this person, but they didn't, held me on time.
lock it in, yeah.
So I landed on my head.
Oh,
and if it wasn't because of the fact that I wear braids, I would have been out. Oh, like these are the lifesavers. Like they help me in the sense that I don't have to like think about doing my hair per match for like at least 3 weeks. And they're also shock absorbers. So it's a win-win for me.
nice. In the 80s, the ladies used to do that, but it was called a perm. There you go.
Jeez.
No, it was seriously. They when you had female wrestlers back in the 80s, I see a lot of them have really big hair. A lot of them have perms. Like think of Sherry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sherry
big perms,
had, yeah.
big perms like that. And then literally works like a shock absorber. So boom, boom, it would stop them from smacking their heads around. Interesting facts, random facts, but interesting
But it's
facts.
like that. I feel like that's something like a lot of people don't like really think of. Like almost all these girls, how to like if they got consecutive matches, like doing their hair every day. The toll it takes on you, the toll it takes on your poor hair, just to put on a great show. And like you got to take care of it. Like you can't just like be like burning it. It's like it's a project. Like Jesus.
It's like I always said, I think women wrestlers have it worse when it comes to just the overall package they deliver out even before they get in the ring, because you got to make sure your hair's done, you got to make sure your makeup's done, you got to make sure you're obviously what you're wearing
It
isn't
doesn't go out of
revealing the
place.
wrong things. That kind of situation. So they get like a huge amount more work to do than what guys is basically like, look, man, just spray me down with some water so I glisten.
Don't just water their hair before
Yeah,
they go out of
that's
the. And I'm like Friday it was a 6-strain scramble, but 4 guys, a hot dog, and me.
whoa,
Yes, I
whoa,
bought a hot dog.
What?
whoa.
I'll see you guys later. I'm out.
What did you just say? Wait a minute. Let's break that down. You just said 4 guys, a hot dog, and you.
Yes,
Okay.
It was a scramble, all right.
a 6-strain scramble match.
The way you said it was like, there's 6 guys, there's me and a hot dog. Like, what kind of
You
wrestling
look at the
gimmick is this?
poster. A guy who loves his sneakers. His name's Ben Rutan. Hot dog Stark, so he's a glizzy. You had Pete Corvus, who's just a hater in general. You got Jay Haru, who does this thing, who'll be like, ah. And then you got Tommy Invincible, who's kind of like an influencer on TikTok and Instagram. And then there's me, hola, hola. So I'm seeing all of them doing they just change and that's it. And I'm like, yo, guys, I have to get ready like an hour before you guys because I got to make sure nothing pops out of the way. And none of them did their hair. What they did was like, before they got out, they threw like a water bottle on them and they're like good to go. And I'm like, I can't do that. Damn you. So the hot dog, he had to wear a whole costume.
Wow.
So that was the guy. I think you actually on your YouTube channel that I was looking when we started, and I went, "Is she wrestling a hot dog?"
It was on Instagram. I wrestled a hot
Instagram.
dog.
Okay. Yes.
I wrestled a hot dog. I X-Factored a hot dog, and I had a brief alliance with him as well in that scramble when we did bun to bun and cheek to cheek to everybody.
Wow.
I'm seeing a theme running here.
Wow.
So bun to bun, cheek to cheek, and more ass and wrestling.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So speaking of wrestling, though, is if you could right now at this point, if there was one person that would be your dream match to have a match with, who would that be?
That's a hard one.
What she said.
Living or dead, it doesn't matter.
I feel like I've never I don't like pinpointing like a person in general. Like I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
You guys mentioned the alley catch match. That was something never in a million years I would have seen myself doing like a year and like a couple months in. And then like 2 months later I wrestled Megan Bain again. Also something never in a million years I would have said, I'm gonna wrestle this woman. I wrestled Su Young, someone, again, names that I would have never thought of and then had the pleasure of being in the ring in.
I watched the Su Young match. It was quite good.
Yeah.
It was funny and it was cool and it had a lot of fun elements.
It was entertaining. We're just going to say that.
I think the hilarious part of it that I loved was you guys were like on the other side of the ropes and you were backhand slapping her across the chest. And I'm thinking, that ain't gonna do nothing to her because, like, she's a very, I want to say this in the most
Respectful.
unsexist kind of way. She has large mammary glands, and you're chopping away. And
Logan, just say it. She has big boobs.
oh my God, no, I will not. Thank you very much,
I mean, come on, just say it.
Lord.
Jeez.
Lord, but yeah, you're going to town, and she's like, she's selling it. I'm like, nah, I don't buy it. Those things are huge. I'm sorry, but it was a good match. Highly recommend you check it out, audience.
Like the fact that I can say I had a mini like Star Wars moment with hockey sticks.
Oh my.
That match had hockey sticks, trash cans, a chair, a ladder, because I suplexed her into a ladder. And then there was this time that somebody tried to get in the match, and I was already missed it on the face. So I X-Factored a guy who, the person who hit me in the beginning of the match came back to hit me again, and I was blind, so I X-Factored him instead of Sue. But that match to me is funny. It's great, and it has its serious undertones, but it was also, again, a match. It was a main event match, and it happened to be a no DQ match. I never in my life had done a no DQ match, so that's why, going back to the question, I don't think I would be able to like pinpoint a specific person because of the fact that I've never actually like name dropped anybody. The surprises tend to be 1,000 times better than I would have ever dreamed of.
So this is very cool and politically correct answer.
So what I want to say is like the type of matches that you just described, like X Factor, there was other various things going on in the matches, trash cans or baseball bats, or is it just going to be a more physical match in general? What goes through your mind to like prepare for that?
So that match in particular, I was not prepared for the whole elements of no DQ. I found out the day of the show. And they said, how do you feel about it? And I'm like, let's freaking go. What's the worst that could happen?
Right.
But I feel like because I take very seriously my training, I study my opponents very well as well. Like I see the flyer, I'm wrestling this person. I'll study the life out of this person. I'll see their matches. I'll see their style. I'll see what I can bring to the table to make the both of us look good, accentuate their strengths, But at the same time, I feel like I come with a game plan as someone. I mean, we all want to win. Let's be honest there.
Right.
But because I take my training very seriously, I train almost every day. With the only times I don't go to training is when I'm wrestling, like not on the island. But I still go to the gym. I still watch wrestling matches. I still enjoy understanding the psychology of wrestling. I feel like you never stop learning. So I feel like it's always an ongoing process to prepare yourself for a match. It's hard, but it has to be done. Because if you don't, you become stale.
Yeah, and like we always say, even when we talk about WWE or AEW or NXT
Or whatever,
those other companies there, even if we have something negative to say about the wrestler, we're always, but they're kind of doing the things that we only dream of. You suplex someone. I can only dream of giving someone a suplex. So, it's just, it's a massive respect for the athleticism you have in the ring.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Puerto Rico, wrestling is a huge deal locally there as well, independently, and the big name companies as well.
So Puerto Rico currently has two big companies. WWC, that's a couple weeks ago, they had their 51st anniversary. And IWA, who also recently had their 25th anniversary. Those are the two big ones. There's also different independent ones that are CWA, EWA, GCW, IWR. There's not as many like as you have in the States because obviously region and there's a lot of elements that we gotta like take into consideration. But wrestling's it's like I feel it's like a mostly like a religion thing. Like they religiously turn on the TV 4 p.m. depending on the show they want to watch on Saturday to watch Puerto Rican wrestling. And it's interesting because in a way Puerto Rico's like complicated in wrestling in the sense that there's some things that I feel like we're like a little bit behind. And for example, on women's wrestling, I think we're a little behind. We're getting there. Like just recently, I don't think I remember a moment in time where I could say women's matches were taken seriously until like at least 3 years ago. And I feel like that's an ongoing issue in wrestling in general. But like the fact that at least they've acknowledged it and try to like wrong their rights, I think it's very important. But Puerto Rican fans are super, super passionate. Like they'll legit hate you. Even though you're not the person sometimes you portray to be. They hate you. There's no way. You can't get saved from that hate.
So you could pull in the real heat, so to speak.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
For sure.
It's funny, you saying, people sit down religiously at 4 o'clock and watch the wrestling. I'm the same way with me. Like when I sit down to watch a pay-per-view, like funny story for you. Bash at Berlin a couple of weeks ago. So it gets to the final match, Gunther versus Randy Orton. And it's like halfway through the match and my phone rings. So I pick up the phone. I don't even look who it is. I answer it, I stick it to my ear, and I'm like, it's bloody Gunther versus Randy Orton. Why the hell are you calling me? And I just put the phone down.
You get
like you have to. Like this is my shit right here, Crazy
this is
stuff.
me time. Let me be.
Yeah.
Get in the program. I got you.
It's funny because JD will come around a lot and we'll watch pay-per-views together. And we always say, this is what we do. I mean, we've been friends for like
22 years. Jesus.
Yeah.
They never invite me.
You get invited.
Yeah, Nahir, I'm old.
Every time. Thank you.
I know, but WWE moved it to Saturdays though, and I'm DJing on Saturdays, so I can never make it.
Like I said, he's a card-carrying DJ.
Yeah.
So he DJs, and then that's when Logan and I will be like, "Hey, won't we come around and watch a pay-per-view?" And we do, and then, like he said, well, you never invite me. Yeah. Well, you're working, dude.
No, they do. They do. Every single time I get a text message.
It's funny.
But it's funny.
JD used to come around and we would go downstairs to my basement. I have a big game room down there.
She doesn't care about your house.
Everybody cares about my game room, all right?
You say I wouldn't.
Amazing.
Okay, here I apologize.
First of all, it's a beautiful Cape Cod situated in a little town in Pennsylvania. It's beautifully pastel blue. Anyway, he used to come around and watch the pay-per-view downstairs. But then my wife, who her wrestling knowledge was she used to watch WCW back in the day, here and there. She wasn't a big wrestling fan. So one time, I think it was a Mania, and we were like, she's like, I'd like to watch it. It's like, okay, we'll watch it upstairs. And
it was like WrestleMania TV. 38 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Now I can't get my wife to stop like wrestling. Oh my God. Like she's like, you want SmackDown? You want Raw? Hey, I ordered a new Cody Rhodes t-shirt.
Monday and Friday. That's great though. You got somebody to watch the wrestling with you.
One day she literally came downstairs and she's like, check it out. And I looked up and I'm like, what am I looking at? What are you wearing? And she's like, it's the new Cody Rhodes shirt from WWE shop. I'm like, I didn't even know that you knew where the WWE shop was. All right. Secondly, how much
Where
did
did
that
you
fucking
get you
shirt
on? That's what
cost?
you were upset about. Didn't get you.
I was like,
I
where's
saved
my.
25%.
Where's
I
my
saved
machine?
25% off your whole order.
Yeah. I was
Oh
like,
my.
God, you could have got me so much stuff. But she got tickets for me to go see Undertaker One Dead Man show. We went and saw that together. She loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. We actually went and met the Undertaker. Had our
They
picture
got to
taken with her.
meet the Undertaker.
Yeah,
Yeah, here in
she
Pittsburgh.
paid for my birthday more for her. She wanted to meet him. But we had a big at the local convention center here. He was here. We had our picture taken. We met him. He was such a cool dude. So Undertaker's my love. I love that man so much. He's just boom. I love him.
I suffer when the streak was out. I cried.
Yeah, me too.
You
Me
know,
too.
My,
I started watching the Undertaker, and Logan and I have talked about this so much. We were what, 8 years old, 9 years old,
Yeah, around there.
and by the time he retired, he was one of those wrestlers that we basically grew up with. And here we were when he retired. We were what, 39 years old.
39, 40,
39,
maybe,
40 years old. And I went,
Yeah.
and I always said, and Logan had, like he said, he had the chance to meet him. I always said, if I ever had a chance to have a 2-minute conversation with the Undertaker, I'd be like, dude, you were my childhood. I basically grew up with you. Over the years, I would stray away for a little while, then come back. But when I would always come back to wrestling, the Undertaker would be there.
And Jake was always there. He was our
He was a
constant.
always
constant,
there.
yeah. He was a
Yeah,
constant rock that you could
Yeah.
guarantee you it didn't matter how crappy WWE was at the time, you could get on there, watch an Undertaker match, and be like, there it is.
It's worth it. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back
We're
at it
back.
again. Love's
There it
back.
is.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got you.
So Nahir, for our listeners
Mhm.
in the upcoming future, where can they expect to see you if they want to go see you wrestle?
I mean, as close as this week, I'm going to be September 20th. I'm going to be in Connecticut and Blood, Sweat, and Tears, BST Wrestling.
Okay.
The 21st, I will be in Maryland in Adrenaline Championship Wrestling in Annapolis, Maryland. Oh, I remember the town. Finally, I said town right. Then on Sunday, I'm back on the island. It's a bittersweet feeling because I live on the island, but
Right.
I'm wrestling more in the States at this point. So I'm back on the island the 22nd at my wrestling school promotion. That's called Espiritu Pro Wrestling Dojo. If you ever want to look like where I'm going to be at, I always post it in my social media as well. I feel like I'm an honorary Northeast girl in the sense that I'm always wrestling either New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Pennsylvania.
Hopefully Pittsburgh.
I think next year I'm going to be in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania in October 12th for PPW. PPW is October 12th. I'm going to be, I have a debut in Indiana October 5th. I go back to Arizona the 19th. And then the 26th, I'm in Florida defending my Warrior Elite Wrestling Women's Championship against two girls that just can't seem to get their hands off each other. No, I'm not even kidding about that. They're always fighting. You can see any promotion you see them, they're always fighting. So I'm like, why am I wasting my time? But it's okay.
So
It's a
the
mystery.
take- the takeaway of this is, if you have a bucket list and you want to see every 50 states, become a wrestler.
Become a
Simple
wrestler.
as.
Yeah.
That was my goal my goal this year was to have a total from where I started wrestling 75 matches in 15 states. I'm in match 73 right now. And on October 5th I go to my 14th state. That was to me that was the ambitious goal originally, which it was just 10 states, 50 matches. And I had the honor of actually completing that list in May, which is something never in my life I thought I was going to achieve half the year in. So I said, let me be a little bit more ambitious on it. So let's go to 75 matches and 15 states. I don't know if I'm going to make it to stage 15, but I know that next week I get to my 75 matches. So it's insane.
We'd like to thank Nahir Robles for joining us on the show this evening. You know, she was a
so much
joy
for
to have on. She was fun to talk to. Logan, I know, had a blast talking with her.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot in common. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hot, you're hot.
Love that for us.
You know, we were both cat pageant girls. You know, that's
Oh, jeez.
Hey,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's
It's a
one thing
hard job, man. It's a hard job.
Wait
Yeah,
a minute. Wait a
I've got-
minute.
I'm English, so we've got the hand twirl like down. Yeah, it's very good. Yes, yes.
Wait a minute, Logan. That just reminded me something. Nahir, there was something on one of your, I think it was your one of your social media profiles that you have yourself listed as the scientist.
Yes.
Okay, so are you a legitimate scientist? Okay, so it says the scientist, the wrestler, the model.
Yes.
Okay, so
I graduated with a bachelor's of integrative biology at the University of Puerto Rico.
oh, rock on. Okay,
So
Cool.
so my I guess 9 to 5, but it's actually 7 to 3. I work as a research laboratory technician at a cancer center facility. While on the weekends, I put my boots, I put my braids, and I go wrestling.
See, this girl,
rock
not
on.
only can she kick your ass, she gonna cure cancer.
We'd like to thank Nahir Robles for joining us on the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
I think that's it. Audience, like I said, let us know if you want us to talk about something specific. ringthebellradio@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Send us a message there. We'll always read it. We might not get to answer you all the time, just because, but we will see your message if you send it to it. So, what, Bears?
Oh, I was just like, yeah.
Oh,
was
okay. I thought you were
what you
complaining again. So anyway,
No, not now.
for the D to the J Barris over there, he's gonna. I think one of these shows he's gonna play us some tunes. He's gonna scratch some records, blow the boombox out.
Nice.
Yeah. And for King Logan, his royalty, his highness, our liege. King, how's your king doing over there?
He's doing all right.
He's doing okay, because I know there was health problems a number of months ago, but he's doing all right. Yeah.
Well, he's got cancer, so
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was asking, because he's your king, and
yeah.
yeah. But anyway, King Logan says bye. For Rabbi, twice we're gonna get sued. For DJ Barris, I'm JD.
Wow.
We'll see you next time. So long.